Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakudash. Double honors to our apostles and our elders of Great Millstone for teaching us His truth to rule well. All right, I was listening to this earlier. All right, this is over there in England. Okay, and it says the C virus MPs debate New England tier system. All right, so they were going into it and talking about how, you know, the ones above them are the leaders of these nations or of that nation. Okay, the leaders are not really giving a shit about these smaller business. They don't really care about, you know, the way the things are going. Okay, they make it seem like they're on the people's side and they're trying to help the people, when in reality they just leave them out to be desolate. Okay, you have a lot of small businesses and businesses that are starting to shut down in certain areas of England. They don't have the economical support by their government, you know, and all this stuff that's happening around the world, all right, is really due to the higher up elites that run the world. Okay, because the higher up elites don't give a damn about America. They don't care about England. All right, they don't care about any of these nations. All they care about is themselves and their power. Okay, so if you come in their way, okay, if you come up against them, then what they're gonna do is take you out. You know, plus they already want to wipe out the majority of the population, all right, which is you know, controlling the amount of humans that are in the world. Okay, so first and foremost, the people that they're going to be attacking are your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, Esau Edom doesn't give a shit about his own people. He doesn't give a shit about, you know, us, the Israelites, the true Israelites, the true biblical Hebrew Israelites, you know, the children of Jacob, of the fountain of Jacob. He doesn't care about us, you know. If he doesn't care about his own people, he damn sure does not care about us, you know. So that was just that. Just wanted to show that, you know. Lord willing, I can post that up in the description. But this is 1 Timothy, and let me start off at verse 1. But this is 1 Timothy 5:1. Rebuke not an elder, but treat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren. Right? Because you have a lot of these dudes that come up out of nowhere. Okay? And the elders, they go into it, you know. But you have these dudes that come up and pretend to be somebody, but you don't see videos of them up in the highways and byways. All right, you don't actually see their faces. They're just hiding behind the videos they're making, you know. So it says, rebuke not an elder. And those people that come in go straight to Apostle Taharis, Apostle Aramlab, Apostle Gabar, even Apostle Rakah. You know, they go up into their pages and start calling themselves breaking down the scripture. All right, saying that what we're teaching is wrong. You know, it says, but treat them as a father, and the younger men as brethren, the elder women as mothers, the younger as sisters with all purity. Right? So it says, honor widows that are widows indeed, but if any widow have children or nephews, let them learn first to show piety at home, and to requite their parents, for that is good and acceptable before the Most High. Right? And right now our spiritual parents are the elders and apostles. You know? A woman can't just go home and ask their parents, hey, am I an Israelite? Because they're going to look at you sideways, right? Hey, do we have to stop eating pork because it's against the law of the Most High? They're going to look at you sideways. You know, so who are our spiritual mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers? The people in this truth, like Yahushua said, right? They said, behold, your mother desireth to speak with you. Your mother and brothers desire to speak with you. And he said, behold, who are my mother, brothers and sisters? And he pointed in front of him and he said, these are my mother, brother and sisters. You know, talking about the people in this truth are the ones that are with Yahushua. Because as he stated in Luke 11:23, those that are not with me are against me, right? Why? Because like it says in John 8:44, you are the people of the devil, right? You're the children of the devil, and the lusts of your father will ye do. Which is what? Lust after the world, lust after money, lust after control. That's what Jake wants. Jake wants control, but they don't want to come about it the correct way, right? Which is under Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, under the apostles, under the elders, and under the brothers. Jake doesn't want to do that, right? They don't want any type of authority except for Esau, Edom. So it says, verse 5, now she that is widowed indeed and desolate trusteth in the Most High. All right, and we're a widow, and we're trusting in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You know, it says, and continueth in supplications and prayers night and day, right? Because Israel's likened unto a comely woman. You know, so we're a widow. You know, we've been left for dead, man. You know, seemingly our power isn't with us. All right, our head is not with us. But now that we're waking up to this truth, we know Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is fighting for us. We know that the angels are fighting for us. You know, and we know we're not going to be touched. Lord willing, I'm part of the number of the elect. Okay? But we have to begin or continue, I should say. And if you haven't started, then begin in supplications and prayers, night and day. You know, throughout the day, just take some time. Praise Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai. You know, which Barakatah, Barak means bless, Atah means you. Bless you, Yahweh. Bless you, Yahushai. You know, it doesn't take but a couple seconds, man. Doesn't have to take a minute, you know, to praise Yahweh Bashem Yahushai for giving us this truth, this knowledge, this wisdom, this understanding, which is something big for salvation. Their names, which is extremely huge for salvation. This wisdom, knowledge, understanding, all right, that brings forth the understanding that the mark of the beast is the RFID chip. That brings forth Jacob's trouble, meaning FEMA camps, prisons, okay? All these things that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai has shown us, you know, which he didn't show anybody else. You know, some people may think that the RFID chip is a mark of the beast, but they don't know. They can't prove it. They don't know what Jacob's trouble is, okay? And they don't know that there's going to be a time of trouble. All right, so verse 6, but she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth, right? So Babylon the Great, 2/3 of Israel that's living in that pleasure of Babylon the Great. The merchants of the world, these other nations, they're living in pleasures, man. You know, the higher up elite are living in pleasures, you know, and the people under them are living in pleasure as well, but they're only receiving the crumbs. You know, that's how stupid these people are, man. They live in pleasure, and the pleasure that they're living in is just a crumb, okay? They don't have the full advantage of this kingdom, but they're still living in pleasure, you know? And our people as well. 2/3 of Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. It says, again, verse 6, but she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth, right? So America, all these nations were living in pleasure, man. And right now you're seeing all these businesses close, you know, gyms that have been up for years and years, man. They've been closing. They don't have people going in, you know, so they need to close. You have these small shops that are starting to close because there's not enough business going around, you know, and the government doesn't give a shit, man. That's what they want. They want businesses to close. They want the economic the economy, Salakia, the economy to collapse. Okay, they want the dollar to collapse. They want the money to collapse. Why? So they can present a new, right? So they can bring forth a new world government, a new world order. You know, this is what we're going to live under, and everybody's going to live under it. If we're all living under it, it's going to be much more difficult to fall, right? And that's what they want. And guess what happened in the Tower of Babel? They were trying to do the same thing. This is a new world order, right? Through Nimrod. This is a new world order. We're going to build this community for all ourselves, and we're going to be one. And the Most High said, all right, behold, they become one. Nothing can that comes to their mind can be past them, right? So what did he do? He confused the language. Now what is he going to do? He's going to destroy the world, right? By way of nuclear missiles, which is another revelation given to us, which is 200 million. All right, 200,000, you know, which is 200 million missiles coming for America, Babylon the Great, you know. So she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. So even though you seemingly have life, you're dead, spiritually dead. All right, your people are dead. They're walking zombies following after you. Verse 7, and these things give in charge that they may be blameless. Verse 8, but if any provide not for his own, especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel, right? So that is talking about the elect, you know, or the people, but also it could be talking about a nation, all right? And like I mentioned, Esau Edom doesn't give a shit about its own people. All right, Esau Edom does not give a shit about his own people, man. You know, Sleazy E. He doesn't care about his own people. So what do you see? Businesses closing. All right, you see not enough government support. You know, and the people are infuriated. They're pissed off, right? Because they want to have their government support them. They want to have their government fighting for them. You know. So that's why the people are pissed off right now in England, you know, but that's coming to America as well. And it's been here, you know, slowly and gradually as these businesses been closing, you know, but Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to turn it up a notch, man. You know, like the Most High said, he's going to get rid of our enemies little by little and little, right? And that's what he's doing right now. He's getting rid of our enemies by little and little. The Most High doesn't just snap his fingers like Thanos and then everything is dissolved, man. Okay, he's gonna be taking them out one by one, you know. Every single one of them is gonna meet him personally, okay. And then when that destruction comes, then that's the Most High snapping his fingers. But it's not gonna come in a day that we don't see coming, right? Because his prophets, his men, his elect are gonna see it coming. They're going to be prophesying about it. They're going to be going into it, you know? So, hey, call halal Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man, that these businesses are closing, okay? That the economy is collapsing over there in Europe. It's going to be collapsing over here in America, Babylon, you know? And then they're going to present the V, and then they're going to present the C, which is the RFID, you know? And then is going to be World War III. All right. So again, but if any provide not for his own, and especially of those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. Now, what does Hebrews chapter 12 tell you? Hebrews chapter 12 tells you that Esau Edom was rejected by the Holy Spirit, right? That's why he didn't receive the blessing, you know, and he cried his eyes out, and still he had found no place of repentance in his heart, right? So he's worse than an infidel, right? That word infidel, I went into it the other day. All right, to fidelity means to be honest to, okay, serving. You know, when your fidelity is to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, that means you're gonna serve Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, okay? You're going to try your best to please Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. When you're an infidel, okay, it means that you go whoring after other gods outside of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You know, so this is was it Matthew? Let me get Mark. Was it 25? Let me see. Mark 3:23. And he calleth them unto him, and said unto them in parables, How can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, the kingdom cannot stand. You see? So Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is turning Egyptian against Egyptian, like the book of Isaiah says. And that's why you have this split. And that's why Joe Biden had said that this is the perfect storm. Because the economy, all right, the people, America, is so divided that he can just swoop in and act, okay, the part that was given to him. You know? So the perfect storm is basically order out of chaos. I forgot how the elder apostle Gabar says it in the Latin, okay, but the Illuminati, okay, they call themselves the illuminated ones, you know, the New World Order. They believe in order out of chaos, you know, they believe in that order out of chaos. Because out of the chaos, whatever's left, they can come in and take advantage and organize it to how they want to organize it, you know. And I went into that subway in Denver, or not subway, but that airport in Denver, where it has all these murals and all these things that not predict, but really go into prophecy, you know. They go into prophecy, go into destruction, go into all that stuff, you know, that these Edomites are going to try and do. So it says, verse 25, and if a house be divided against itself, the house cannot stand. You see? So the house of Esau Edom, or the house of E, is not going to be able to stand for too much longer, man. You know? If they're so divided, like they've been, okay, where you have the British government that's falling apart. You know, if you listen to that video, you have them, you know, splitting each other up, man. You know, you have some people saying, no, what he's doing is right. And then most of the time, the speaker that's talking, he's saying, you know, everything you're doing is completely ass backwards. You know, everything you're doing is backwards. You know, they haven't received government help for, I believe he said it was 12 months, almost a year already. You know, it's going on 8 months, I think he said. You know, so hey, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is showing us, man, showing us how things are not gonna get back to normal, man. Those people that lost their jobs, that lost their companies due to the so-called V, all right, V19, the C19, you know, you really think those people are going to be able to, you know, get government help to start their businesses back up? You know, they're not going to be able to start it back up, man, especially not with what they're bringing, you know, because what they're bringing forth is a RFID. And without that, you can't have anything. You can't buy. You can't go out and sell, right? You can't start up your business unless you have that RFID. You know? So buying and selling goes into that. You know, they're going to have all your information under it. Okay? And like the elder apostle Tahar went into it, the V, all right, Maxi, and the C, the RFID, they're going to kill your pineal gland and your God gene. You know, that's the main thing for Esau Edom's strategy of attack. You know, that's their strategy, to remove the Most High from every single person. Okay, and replace that with him, with himself. You know, that's why scriptures talk about him trying to be like the Most High. It's not talking about some angel that fell. It's talking about Esau, all right? It's talking about this so-called righteous man, sleazy E, you know? So verse 26, and if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but he hath an end. You see, so we have to be strong in these words. You know, we have to be fully persuaded in our mind that the Most High, what he has spoken through his men, through his prophets, through scripture, is true. Yahushua said that this man has an end, but hath an end, all right, at the end of verse 26. So then how can we lose? If Yahushua said he has an end, the Most High has spoken through his prophets and said that he has an end, you know, talking about E, how are we going to be afraid of the things to come? How are we going to try and side with E? You know, he's going to deceive a lot of you, man. He's going to deceive a lot of you. And a lot of you don't think that it's important that these businesses are going out in England, that businesses are going out throughout the world, businesses are going out in America. You really think the government is going to try and you know, help you rise up again? No, what they want you to do is to crumble, right? So that they can pick up the remaining pieces and rule over that. That's what they want, man. That's the crafty counsel they've taken, you know? I believe it was Matthew 13 and 25. This is Matthew 13 and 28. He said unto them, an enemy hath done this, right? Talking about the tares, which are the children of E, you know, that may look like us, talk like us, you know, but those are tares. Like that vice president, you know, Kamala Harris or whatever. It says, he said unto them, an enemy hath done this. The servant said unto him, wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, nay, lest while we gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them, right? Because it's not time for E to fall, you know. It's not time for him to fall. The Most High has an appointed time for everything, right? There's an appointed time for summer to come, and there's an appointed time for summer to leave. There's an appointed time for cold to come, and there's an appointed time for the cold to leave. And there's an appointed time for there to be a balance, right? Which is a perfect balance that the Most High has set up, you know? And like in the book of Ecclesiastes, there's a time for everything under the sun, right? So there's an appointed time for E to rule, and there's an appointed time for him to end, you know? And that's in 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. The end of the world is Esau, and the beginning of it and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, you know. So there's a appointed time for everyone. Now the nation of Israel, there's going to be an appointed time for it to start, but after it starts again, it's not going to end. That's a forever kingdom, right? Under the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you know. And that's a perfect balance, man. The Most High gave these nations all the tribes in the world, you know, the Elamites, Ammonites, Moabites, Hamites. He gave them all a chance. They all failed, you know. He gave Israel a chance as well. We failed. And now he's going to give us that perfect opportunity to show ourselves forth. And that's happening right now, you know. And then after that, when the kingdom comes, we're not going to go off anymore. We're going to be made perfect. We're not going to have Israelite against Israelite again, right? We're not going to have 2/3 coming up against us like they did in the time of the Maccabees and like they're going to get ready to do now, you know? So that kingdom will be made perfect, you know? But you have to know that this kingdom will not stand forever. Let me end it with Sirach, all right? Because I got to go into work here. This is Sirach chapter 10 and verse 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, And the government of a prudent man is well ordered. We don't see order here in Babylon. We don't see order anywhere else, right? It's not well ordered. There's chaos. It says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. You see? So if a city is against a city, okay, if you have a country against another country, if you have that same country against itself, how the hell can E stand? E hates E, right? And in their own countries, they hate each other. So it says, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. And that's happening right now through the prudence of them that are in authority, all right, which is the higher up elites really given to them by the Most High. The city is still inhabited, this wicked city. The eyes of the Most High are upon the sinful kingdom. That's talking about Babylon the Great. The Most High is checking this place out, man. And he sees that the king of this place is destroying his own people. The king of the world is destroying his own people, right? The prince of the world, I should say, Salakia, which is E. He's destroying his own people. He doesn't give a shit about them. It says, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, you see? So the Most High gave it to him, and he destroyed his own people. And in due time, he will set over it one that is profitable. All right, which is starting with Yahushua.